So let's play a game of What Are the Chances with the Chiefs and the Giants. I'll remind you, Kansas City has never won a road game at the New York Giants. Harry, what are the chances the Giants pull the upset on Sunday night?
I'm going to go 25% because my son loves quarters, Greeny. He's 6 years old.
Okay.
But the reason why I'm picking this team in this matchup also is because of their defensive line. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and also Abdul Carter. I do know when it comes to Steve Spagnuolo, he loves to send the blitz. Well, that blitz hasn't gotten home so much this season. And watching Malik Neighbors, no one on the Chiefs secondary can guard him. And Wan'Dale Robinson has been phenomenal as well, too.
We've spent a lot of time this week talking about what's wrong in Kansas City. And the offense, it looks unimaginative. It looks slow.
Old.
It looks old. Overwhelmingly, its best play has been Patrick Mahomes running around and trying to make something happen. He's been their leading rusher in both games. What is the read on Kansas City's offense, Peter?
That they have no spark and that everything you're saying is accurate. And even the most fervent Chiefs fan would say this is not the Chiefs of old. It's certainly not the Chiefs of the Tyreek era, but it isn't even the Chiefs of last year. And what's really alarming is none of those wide receivers have stepped up with Rice and Worthy out. So Juju and Thornton, all these names we were told are going to have to elevate their game, they haven't been able to do anything. But the more alarming part, the running game. Yes, the numbers look like they've been running the ball well. That's because Patrick Mahomes has been running the ball well. Nothing out of Isaiah Pacheco, nothing out of Kareem Hunt. If you don't have the running game and you don't have the passing game, it's going to be hard to compete with the Ravens and the Bills this season.
Right, but this week they have to compete with the Giants. And
right.
Look, the Giants got lit up by Dak and company last week. Bart, you host the talk show in New York, so you know this team well. How do you see this matchup?
I mean, I'm waiting for this dominant Giants defense to finally step up and play that way. Like, they were able to get 3 sacks last week, but they've been giving up a bunch of points all season. This is a get-right game. Russell Wilson.
Kansas City?
No, for both teams, right? I mean, if this is over with, then we might be starting the Jackson Dart era, pretty soon, 2 more weeks before they get to the Saints.
Even though Russell threw for whatever it was, 450.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you're going to continue losing, then what's the point?
Right.
The only way that Dayball saved his job is if, Jackson Dart is a good football player. Mm-hmm. But right now, the Kansas City Chiefs just remind me of our team when we just went to so many games. Patrick Mahomes has probably played an entire extra season going to the AFC Championship every year. They look like a tired team. Now, you got to kick them while they're down, because when they get those reinforcements, they're going to be a much better football team.
Well, the reinforcements meaning Xavier Worthy coming back healthy, Rashee Rice coming back.
Kick them while they're down.
Will they be okay? Look, if there's anyone you trust to get this thing figured out, it's Andy Reid, it's Patrick Mahomes. Will the Chiefs be the Chiefs again by the time we get to the end of the season?
Absolutely. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes, and here's the solution, Greeny, is play action passing, because they do have a productive game when you look at 6 yards per rush, and only 17% of their offense right now is coming from play action passing. So if I'm Patrick Mahomes, Bart talked about their pass rush in terms of what the Giants can do. I would look to get him under center, use play action, because right now nothing else is working. That's a good foundation to work on.
Harry, look, you can't play action when you can't run the ball.
The inability to run the football and for guys to win one-on-one outside, we give the Chiefs a lot of grace, and rightfully so, because they played in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. But what my eyes are telling me is that their offensive identity is Patrick Mahomes. Go save us and make it work. When you can't run the football, when you can't win one-on-one on the outside, and then Patrick Mahomes is in playoff mode where he feels like he has to scramble and run over guys for positive yardage, that is very alarming to me, because by the time Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are both playing together, it might be too late for Kansas City. That's what I'm saying.
But Harry's great question is, can they hold serve and get there? They're going to beat the Giants. They're a much better football team. And they're going to get better. Xavier Worthy's shoulder's going to get better. Rashee Rice is going to get back. And when they do, they're going to come back to where they once were.
Let's put the picks up on the screen as we finish the conversation. We're not done. I just want everyone to see. The whole room is taking Kansas City. Go ahead.
No. I'm taking the Giants.
Yes.
We got to change it. A late flip. 25%, he's taking the Giants.
I mean, it's directly correlated, Mike, because what happens is when you don't have any threats on the outside, then I can load up the box, understanding that they have to set the table with Pacheco. So I can bring that 8th man in the box. Listen, Travis Kelce, whenever you hear these words from any aging player, I'm in the best shape of my life and I'm losing weight, that's the last cry, because you know his body is starting to fail him. And listen, it's starting to become the end maybe of a regime, and maybe the Chargers are ready to take over that division.
That was what I meant when I said the biggest problem the Chiefs have may not be one they can do anything about.
Right.
And that is, for the first time in a very long time, candidly, it's a decade, they may not be the best team in their division anymore. The Chargers may be that good. Okay, so everyone here likes Kansas City except Harry kind of.
25%.
25%.
Who's got this one? Mike T. Rams-Eagles is a fascinating game. What are the chances the Rams pull the upset? They are a 3.5-point underdog.
50%, but I'm leaning more towards like 51%. And let me tell you why, Greeny. Dory Jackson is really struggling opposite Quinyon Mitchell. He's allowed 8 receptions on 12 targets, and you know that Matthew Stafford is going to wear him out either with Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams, and the moribund passing game of the Eagles will catch up with them this week.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback who has started a game this season of the 33 who has not thrown a touchdown. And just very quickly, before I get to the tush-push piece of this, which is an important part of the story, Harry and I are having a delightful breakfast upstairs this morning. I asked you a very simple question. How good is Puka Nacua?
I think he's one of the most underrated players in the National Football League. The offense in the LA for the Rams is revolved around Puka Nacua. From a motion standpoint, him going in between offensive tackles and tight ends to do blocking. The guy can catch the ball over the middle. He can catch it outside. His catch radius is unbelievable. They give him speed sweeps, as you've seen last week, and he ran for a touchdown. Puka Nacua is one of the most underrated players in the entire NFL.
He's Deebo Samuels with a ponytail. I mean, he's Deebo that can run routes. I'm being serious. His physicality that he brings, right, but also his route running, his playmaking ability.
Smart
to me, it's second to none.
End of the first game, it's 3rd and 8. They throw to him. He goes down inbounds. Like the smartest cerebral player, too. They love him in LA.
The Rams, they can prove a lot this week. Now, they went there and lost a tough playoff game. We had this stat all week long. The Rams' last 11 games, they're 9-2. Both losses are against the Eagles. But the tush-push is going to be a big part of the story this week.
Yeah, I could tell you that last year before the divisional round, you had a Rams organization that went to the league office and said, you have to start calling false starts on these tush-pushes. And I'm going to show you a tape right now. One of the only times all the last 2 years they actually did call a false start on a tush-push on this play. That's because the league was aware of it. The refs were aware of it. I can tell you that the Rams have, again, reached out to the league before this game, and the national spotlight around this very issue, false starts, jumping early, has been made evident. The name I want you to watch is not Puka Nacua or Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown. Brad Rodgers. The official for the game on Sunday is going to be Brad Rodgers. How often is he looking forward? Is he throwing flags? Because I will tell you this, everyone in the building is going to be looking at those 3rd and shorts and 4th and shorts, and the league is well aware they don't want this to be the topic next week.
So talk to me, Mike T. Take me through that process from a team standpoint.
So typically Monday and Tuesday, when the teams are dealing with the league office, is about what happened the previous week. By Wednesday, to Peter's point, you're sending film to the officiating department, emphasis of what you want. Obviously, this week it's all about the tush-push. So Brad Rodgers' whole crew is going to see extra film that I'm sure the Rams have sent about false starts either by the guard or by somebody else. And look, now and when we look at this film right here, you can see the flinch of the right guard. And because it's a national spotlight, they will call it extra tight. It may make the difference in the game.
It could easily. Look, the bottom line of it is this, Bart, and I know how opposed you are to the tush-push. I support you. I agree with you. I'm 100% with you. But they're not changing the rule until next season at soonest. So Jeff Saturday was sitting here, an offensive lineman, earlier this week and said, you're darn right we fire off the ball on every play early if we can make them call it. That's the advantage of being at home. That's all that stuff, and they are at home this week. So that is a factor in this game. It is going to come down to whether or not they call it.
Yeah, I mean, and the emphasis on that, maybe they call it for a week and hope that it dies down. This isn't going away, right? Because I think aesthetically,